So you've probably heard the saying that when we heal ourselves, we heal our children. But what if our children are adults? How does our healing heal our adult children? Well, I'm going to dive all the way into that today because this is a topic that's very near and dear to my heart. So before I jump in, if you're new here, I want to introduce myself. I'm Ketra Thompson. I'm a certified master hypnotist and a relational recovery coach. So what I do is I help people reframe these core beliefs that have started to run our lives and create behavior patterns that we don't want, and I help you reframe them on a subconscious level. So you can have a life that you love, so you can be connected to your deepest sense of self-worth, a sense of peace and confidence, and you can create a life that's actually what you would want and not one that you feel like just got dished out to you and you just had to take it. So before I jump all the way in, also I want to mention if this content resonates with you, click like and subscribe so you can be notified every time I post a new video, and I really appreciate you taking the time to do that because it does help me reach other people in the algorithm that YouTube has. So I appreciate you hitting like and hitting subscribe, and as always, I love to hear your comments, so feel free to comment below. Let me know if this resonates with you or if there's any questions that you'd like me to address in the future. So many people assume that in order for our healing to affect our children, it has to be done either before we have kids or when our kids are little so that we minimize the damage. We change our behavior patterns and we really spare them from additional trauma. And it's true. The earlier we heal our own trauma, the better. But it's not the whole picture. So first I want to explain a little bit about complex trauma. Complex trauma is repetitive, smaller behaviors that shape who we are in some way when they aren't what we really need. So if as a child you were neglected excessively, or you were criticized, or you felt abandoned, and this was sort of an ongoing pattern, it becomes complex trauma in your life where the repetitiveness of it and the pain that it inflicted created a belief system that you now run on. So we're basically in hypnosis from birth till about age 5 or 6. So we're taking in all the things that happen to us, things people say to us, but we're doing it with no discernment. So we don't know that someone was just having a bad day or that they were at their capacity. We just knew what we needed, and we knew we weren't getting what we needed. And sometimes it's not things that happen to us, but things that don't, like neglect. We didn't have a parent who took the time to sit with us and let us share our feelings and help us calm our nervous system. We didn't have the things we needed in the moment. And the thing is, our subconscious mind that's being created and written during that time, it ends up running over 95% of everything we think, feel, and do as adults. So it's a big deal. Our childhood is a big deal, but there's also things that affect our subconscious mind in our adult life as well. So you might be wondering how healing yourself can help heal your adult children. So the truth is that it absolutely can help heal our adult children. So when we allow our adult children, even our teenage children, to be really witnessed, to be really seen, to be really heard and known, we're creating an environment that's safe for them to step into. In this situation, they learn that despite what we did when they were younger or the mistakes that we made, that now we are centered and that we have created a space where they can express their pain, where they can express their disappointments, even their disappointments with us. That creates a space where they don't have to carry that trauma further into their life. They can actually express it, be validated and heard, and release so much of it. Now, this doesn't mean they don't have their own journey. They do. They're going to have to navigate the things that they have that are driving their behavior. But this safe space is precious. It allows for them to really be themselves. And it allows for them to know that you are a safe space to do it. And you really don't become that safe space unless you have done the healing work yourself. So you may be wondering what actually creates this safety for them. Well, it's a lot of things. In the healing process that you do yourself, you get to a place where you're no longer attached to the outcome of things, where you're no longer trying to control. So anytime you're trying to control how someone else lives their life or what outcome they have or who they should be, we're attaching ourselves to outcome and we're really trying to control someone else that's out of our control. And the truth is, we can try. Sometimes we can even accomplish some of those outcomes, but in the process of trying to control the outcome for other people, we end up damaging the trust bond between the two of you, especially with adult children, because the process of letting go starts in that adolescent time, and you slowly let go of the reins as your children become older and allowing them to make their own mistakes without shame, without criticism, being a safe space for them to come to so that they can ask you for advice and they can seek your wisdom when they do make the mistakes in life. But it takes a tremendous amount of work for a parent to let go of all of that. So when you've done the healing work of letting go of that control, that can help create a safe space. When you are really having humility, that's what this boils down to. The biggest component is that you are humble, that you have humility, and that you're willing to hear about their pain. When they bring pain to you or things they didn't like about the past, where you can validate it. And this has happened to me. My oldest son right now is 25. So he has brought some things to me since he's become an adult and said, hey, I really wish you wouldn't have done this thing. And I had to acknowledge that you're right. I thought I was doing what was best for you at the time, but that isn't the point. The point is you felt pain from this. You felt that this was harmful to you, and I totally get it. And my children know now that I have done the healing work, they are allowed to be disappointed in me. They are allowed to bring up those old grievances and those pains with me because I'm not going to judge them for having them, and I'm not going to get self-defensive about it. The truth is, we all make mistakes. And even though there are things we think that might not affect them, they do. So one of these grievances was that I had kept my children in a private Christian school, and especially my oldest, for longer. And he was really upset that I'd kept him in this really small, narrow-minded space where he wasn't allowed to expand his thoughts and views on other topics. And even though I didn't see it that way at the time, I thought I was protecting him and doing the right thing. That doesn't matter. What matters is that he had pain inside of him about a choice I made, and I needed to be able to validate that. So you don't easily get to the point of being able to validate others' pain if you have not done the work yourself. You need to be able to sit in some level of humility and have curiosity where the other person fully feels seen and known and heard, without you trying to control their life. So that is the biggest factor. Now, the second thing that's really important to creating this dynamic where you can help your children heal is that you need to be able to express to them your boundaries. So what you will and will not allow in your life, that you won't compromise your life or well-being for some issue they're having. Now, that might sound harsh, but they actually appreciate it because everyone wants to know where the guardrails are. They want to know that there's somewhere you can go and some places you can't go. And my kids want to know that I'm not going to compromise my own present happiness because I feel terribly upset or guilty or shameful or regretful over something they bring to me about the past. That I'm not going to let them walk all over me, that I'm not going to try to make up for that for the rest of my life. And if they did think that I was going to feel that level of shame and guilt and totally derail my life in order to accommodate them, they wouldn't bring the issue to me in the first place. They would know it's not safe because if I bring this to her, she's going to wreck her life trying to make up for it, and I can't live with that guilt. This frees them to actually be authentic. And the other thing it does is it allows them to be integrated into my life. I am real with them. There is not some hidden part of me. They know who I am, what I want, where my boundaries are, and they respect it just as much as I respect them. I respect their life, their choices, what they want to do, and regardless of whether or not I ever give them input or advice, the choice for them to take that advice or not is theirs. And I don't have to feel hurt about it. It's not my life. It's not my journey. So this is how healing yourself allows you to become a safe space. Sometimes we think we're a safe space, but if we really step back, we're actually still trying to manage other people's emotions. We're trying to manage the outcome. We're trying to control the outcome. We're trying to keep everything nice, and it doesn't do anyone any favors. It doesn't create a better bond between us and our adult children, and it doesn't give them the freedom to bring the things to us that they need to bring to us so they can let go of them. Because they don't know where the boundaries are. They don't know that it's safe. They don't know that they're gonna not derail our life, send us into defensiveness or shame. It's just too scary. So becoming a safe person starts on the inside of you. I always say that, it's always an inside job. So that is exactly what I do. The hypnotherapy practice that I do is very much a deep-rooted root cause process. So we're going back and we're getting to the heart of what's going on inside of you, what's keeping you reactive, what's keeping you defensive, what's keeping you a people pleaser, and reframing it on that subconscious level so that you can function differently in your life. But one thing you can do today is that you can slow it down. Whenever you feel like you might be trying to control the outcome or you might be triggered by someone else's criticism, take a time out, go for a walk. Do some deep breathing exercises and do a reality check. Are you being a safe space for them? Are you being curious, or are you letting old wounds come up? And then making a conscious effort to change the way you interact with people is a very good first step. So again, if you'd like to find out about the programs I offer, check out that link in the description. I offer specific programs for women, specific ones for men, specific ones for couples, and a very basic hypnotherapy package for anyone and everyone. So you'll want to check that out, and I'd love to hear what you think about this and what your experience has been with your own children and how your healing process has affected them and given them more freedom to be themselves. Until next time, I hope you curate a life by your own design.